Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and I'm going to talk with you today about why interviews die. You know, you're sitting with the employer, and you just have that sinking feeling like this is a huge fail. So there are a number of reasons why they die, why they fail. And the first one is because the hiring manager reviewed a resume and interpreted something you'd written that you didn't intend it to say. Now, that's often from the employer's standpoint. That's not your fault. But they kind of read things into the resume sometimes and wish and hope and think and pray that maybe you have that experience. And you know, within 5 minutes, everyone knows that you don't have the background that they're looking for. So that's one reason. Another reason is it's your fault. You know, sometimes you've overstated a skill or an experience or a success. And, you know, in your desire to get that interview, you oversold yourself. That's your fault. You know, and you've wasted your time, you've wasted someone else's time. I have that happen in resumes all the time. People send resumes and they really don't have the experience that the resume suggests. And I can tell within 2 minutes that that's the case. And I just get them off the phone fast. So don't overstate what you can do. By the same token, don't understate it. Just be accurate. Sometimes they fail because, frankly, the interviewer gets lost in a thought. You know, they've got other things on their plate, and interviewing is one of 25 things they may have to contend with on a given day. So for whatever the reason is, the timing wasn't right for the interview. And you're stuck sitting there or talking with them and realize pretty quickly that you've lost their attention. And finally, and this one is your fault, you're boring. You know, they ask you a question and you've never organized your thoughts around this topic. And you go off and drone on and just are absolutely awful in how you present your ideas. And you give long-winded answers to questions that need to be answered in 35 to 45 seconds. So what can you do to avoid this? The easiest thing is when you're invited in for the interview, ask them about the role that they're going to be interviewing you for. Don't just simply accept the interview. Ask them to talk with you about the job and explore it a little bit. So this way, you know, if they're projecting experience onto you that you don't have, you can investigate further and say, you know, I really haven't done what you're looking for. This is what I have done. Can that work for you? And they say no. Well, you've saved everyone a bunch of time. And another thing you can do is don't exaggerate. You know, just lay out exactly what you know and what you've done. You know, exaggeration just puts you in the position of wasting a lot of folks' time. You know, if you get a sense that the interviewer is off in thought. Now, if you're in a phone interview, this one's a real easy one. Ready? This is one trick. Ready? Just do a quick cough, and that'll jolt them back to attention. If you're in an in-person interview, shift your position a little bit, and that's going to get them back. You know, for you to avoid droning on, pay attention. Hear the question if you're in person and stick on point. If you're doing this over the phone, very simply jot down the question on a slip of paper. Like, you do have your resume in front of you, right? It's a phone interview. You can have your resume out. Jot some notes down on your resume, and just very simply, that will remind you how to stay on point. And finally, keep your answers to 30 to 45 seconds where possible, because I've found that when people start going over 45 seconds, the interviewer starts to mentally channel surf. You know, they start thinking about other thoughts other than you. So keep your answers brief and to the point, and you'll find that you're not going to wind up losing them. So this is Jeff Altman. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did and you're watching on YouTube, share it, leave a comment, click the like button, do something that lets people know it was worthwhile. Now come over to my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us, and go explore it. There's a lot of great information. By the way, this is new. I'm going to do another video about this, but I'll just simply say new is I'm going to start releasing all of my books in a pay what you want model. So if you don't want to pay for it, you can do that, zero. I encourage you to pay something for it, but if you can't afford it, or for whatever the reason is, you don't think it has any value whatsoever, pay zero. So you can do that at thebiggamehunter.us. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Use all the tools I have that are going to give you job leads. Post your resume to more than 50 sites for mine. Listen to Job Search Radio, No BS Job Search Advice Radio, and No BS Hiring Advice Radio, all from my site. Watch my other videos there. A lot of content to help you find work and get better at finding it. So come over to thebiggamehunter.us and go exploring. A few final things. First of all, if your firm's trying to hire someone, send me an email at the address below. Let me know who to contact and whether I can mention your name. I'd love to help you firm staff positions. If we're not already connected on LinkedIn, send me a connection request at linkedin.com/in/the-big-game-hunter. And lastly, if you have questions about job hunting, you are not alone. Most people do, but make the mistake of asking the wrong people for advice. People who know as little as you do. So it's the blind leading the blind, and that never works out well. So if you have a question, contact me through liveperson.com, where I'm a job search and career coaching expert. I'd be happy to answer your questions. So this is Jeff Altman. Hope you have a great day. Take care.